Let's finish this off here, and let's go with the Carolina Panthers. They need a quarterback, a tackle, a guard. They hold the sixth pick in the draft, and then they don't pick again until 137. This is quite possibly one of the most talked about teams in this pre-draft process, because what are they going to do with the number 6th pick? Are they going to take a quarterback? Are they going to go elsewhere? AJ, you and I are the only two that have them address. You and I are the only two that went first round here, and we went two different positions. So AJ, let's start off with you because you have the more interesting pick out of the both of us. So take it away.
So remember earlier, I did say that there was some picks that I would talk about that are could be, should be. And I'm going with the route there for these Carolina Panthers. And it's one of the most talked about conversations. They pick, as Vinny just said, at 6 and then not again for 137 out there in Sac City land. Raise your hand if Sam Darnold is the answer. Exactly. I wouldn't think you were going to raise your hand. So I'm having them take a quarterback here, and it's going to be the only quarterback I think should go in the top 10, and that'd be Malik Willis. Malik Willis out of Liberty. The upside is amazing. Some of the best times that Carolina had, and granted it was a different organization up top, was when they had a dual threat quarterback like Cam Newton. Well, Malik Willis is kind of like that style with much more upside, in my opinion. He's got the strong arm. He's got the legs. This guy had 146 career broken tackles as a QB. Think about that. 146 career broken tackles. His footwork has improved a lot. He's got some issues in the middle of the field when he's throwing, and that's something that can be worked on, but his deep ball is beautiful. You can drop that thing in a bucket time and time and time again. Malik Willis has been talked about a lot, and I believe that if Matt Rule is thinking that I need to save this job, he at least has to put some pressure under Sam Darnold, who Ben McAdoof said is already the starter. But it has to be clear and cut that there's no other option to me. I think that QB6, you can go out and get a Malik Willis and take a shot, or you can wait until 137, or you're planning to be trash this year and hope to be right here again next season with a new head coach.
Yeah, with the fact that they don't pick again till 137, it is really hard for them to get any type of quarterback after this. So I understand the Malik Willis pick here, but I'm not sold on any of these guys coming in and really being a day one starter. Malik Willis could be a guy who comes in and is a great talent after it all, but I think they need to build on that offensive line, and they got to go tackle. And I love this guy a lot. I love Charles Cross.
You were on mute, sir.
Wow, did I go through all of that on mute? Holy shit.
Yes, you did.
Oh, no, I didn't because of the music. Okay. All right, yeah. Charles Cross, Mississippi State. At one point, this guy was the top offensive lineman in this draft. This guy at one point was supposed to be the first offensive lineman off the board. He is a special guy. And the thing I love the most about him is he is an excellent pass blocker. 16 pressures last year on 145 plus blocking snaps. This guy, pass blocking snaps, I should say. He's got great feet. He's got great awareness. He's got great hands. This guy is Icky, Cross, Neal. You're splitting hairs with them, and I think that a lot of buzz around Icky and Evan Neal. Those guys go before, and Carolina has Charles Cross fall right in their lap. I think it's the perfect way to do it, to build around him. If you struggle this year, you're going to be able to pick high next year with a better quarterback class, and now you have your anchor on the offensive line with Charles Cross.
Yeah, to me, this is not about whether Carolina should go and get a quarterback. We all know Carolina needs a quarterback. This is really about the lack of picks that they have and ability to move around. Bringing in Malik Willis is nice, but not having a tackle to protect him is going to be tough, right? And you might destroy him if you have to play him. And if you're not, then you're just putting him on the bench, and you don't even have an impact player this year to develop. So I look at Carolina and I just say, look, the easiest answer for Carolina to be, if you want to save Matt Rule's job, is go draft Charles Cross or Ika Makwana or whichever tackle is there.
Yeah.
And then you trade for Baker Mayfield. And it's sad, and you might not want to, but you make the Browns eat some of that money, and you go trade for Baker Mayfield, and then you let Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold duke it out for whoever's going to start this year. Both of them both of them are good enough to win football games. And I'm not saying they're going to win a lot, but both of them are going to be able to make Carolina at least compete. They won't go to the playoffs. They'll have another early pick next year. And that's when you move around and you go get your franchise quarterback with neither one of these guys on the books. So yes, you'll eat Baker Mayfield for the 1 year. You'll eat Sam Darnold, which you've already kind of committed to, but they have been struggling to find a tackle for years. They need to go out and get an offensive line and somebody that's a staple in their organization, because when you don't pick again until pick, 10,000, you don't have any wiggle room. You have no trade assets unless you're giving up future first round picks to come back and take a quarterback in this draft class. I don't buy it. I think it needs to be Charles Cross, Ike Mekwonu, or Evan Neal, whichever tackle is there, unless you want to go crazy and you want to trade back and get more picks and then maybe get one of those quarterbacks and a tackle like a Trevor Penning or somebody like that. Maybe you can make that work. I don't know. But right now, to me, it's got to be an offensive tackle.
You said a few things I love. First off, if they get a Charles Cross, I'm not mad. But when it comes to Baker Mayfield, like Robbie Anderson tweeted out, no,
doesn't matter. It's not your future.
I know. I understand. Listen, I also like the idea of them trading back. My thing is, when it comes to this draft process, we all want to be right. We all understand we'll probably be wrong. So the best options that you have are thinking about what you are hearing. And for us, we are one level at least connected from what the experts are hearing. And the thought process is the New Orleans Saints have teetered with the idea of trading up to 5 because Malik Willis is a projected target at 6. What if the Panthers can make that trade and let someone get them at 6 and then trade back? I do like that idea. But if you were thinking, I just wouldn't hate the idea. Look at what they did with Trey Lance, the number 3 overall pick. They sat him behind someone. If you allow at the number 6 him to at least come in and compete, I bet he would be better than the last quarterback taken at 6 overall, Daniel Jones. So I'm pretty sure
look what happened to Daniel Jones. Like, that's the problem. New York didn't have an offensive line. They couldn't block for him, and it might have ruined him.
But I'm talking about the competition, at least coming in and competing. If he can prove that he can do it, then let's go. But if he comes in and he's not, now you've done enough things that you don't have to focus that way next season either.
I also think the 49ers example is different because they already had a built team. The Carolina doesn't. Like, their offensive line's bad. They could use some help on the outside. They still need help on defense. Like, they still have a lot of holes. Matt Rule would be doing that pick to save his job. That's all that pick would be to me, is I have to take a quarterback because now it buys me a couple of years. And to me, that's bad business. If you're a team and you're a general manager, I'm going to try to develop my team for 2 to 3 years to say this is the best path versus just say, let's take a quarterback because we know he gets 2 to 3 years to try out.
I like that, the note you brought up about just having the fact that you draft Willis, you don't have anyone to protect him at that left tackle spot, and it's like you're just ruining his future here. Obviously, you're basically throwing away his first year and then hoping for the best next year and then moving on, but you're just wasting it away this year. Good chatter for that first round selection for the Carolina Panthers. Aaron and Dylan, you two went balls deep on this one in the 4th round.
Whoa!
Where the next Carolina Panthers pick is at pick 137 in the 4th. Dylan, we'll start off with you.
Yeah, you mentioned the offense. Vinny, I'll tease my mock that's coming out tomorrow. Charles Cross at 6 is where I went. So just to keep it a little bit more spicy, I went to the 4th round for the next selection for the Carolina Panthers, and they need a middle linebacker. Maybe they don't need, but let's go to the 4th round for it and get some JoJo. JoJo Doman, not making first-round money, but look at him. This guy's just a fierce competitor, just a hard-hitting middle linebacker out of Nebraska. I mean, what more can you say about this guy? He's just extremely tough. He plays his ass off. I mean, he posted 9 tackles and had an interception against Ohio State this year, right? I mean, that's pretty tough competition. He went nuts against the Buckeyes, and he did that all while battling injury. He's just a fierce guy you can shove in the middle, and you ain't got to worry about it. I mean, you have a couple pieces there in Damian Wilson and Corey Littleton, but still trying to replace what Luke Kuechly brought to that team, which was a physical middle linebacker. I love me some JoJo Doman to Carolina. And I think give him a little bit of time, sit behind those guys, or maybe he'll play his ass off through training camp to where they give him a shot early. I like this kid, and I like him to Carolina.
JoJo Doman can never play middle linebacker. He's too small. However, he probably actually is going to end up playing a hybrid. He's going to play a little hybrid role of corner, of nickel guy, and linebacker. He's really undersized, but he is athletic, and I do like him. but I don't know about him being a middle linebacker in the NFL. For me, this one was easy. We talked about offensive line. So my goal for Carolina this year is to build an offensive line so that next year when I get my quarterback, he can actually be protected. So I went deep. I got to find him. It's so deep. I went Josh Sills from Oklahoma State. Sorry. Josh Sills from Oklahoma State. Again, this is a guy that's not going to come in right away and be some great offensive lineman. This might even be a little bit too early for a guy like this, but he's really strong and he's a really good run blocker. You give somebody for Christian McCaffrey to run behind. He can get off the line of scrimmage really well. He plays. He's really, really smart, which, offensive lineman, you want a smart offensive lineman, knows how to pick up blitzes, things like that. Again, big athlete, good bulk, but he's going to have to develop. And this is one of those guys, you add some more depth on the offensive line to a team that hasn't had a real good offensive line in a really long time. It's pretty simple for me. Beef the offensive line up this year, find those key pieces you need on defense, on the outside, and then you come back next year and you get your franchise quarterback either via trade or free agency or through the draft. And there's a lot of quarterback options still out there. They could go get Jimmy G if they really want to do that, right? Get Charles Cross and then put Jimmy Garoppolo behind him. And he's not great, but he's proven to win.
He would work in Carolina.
He would be their best option. I think Carolina is I don't want to say a playoff team with Jimmy G, but the NFC is weak. So they'd be battling for a playoff spot with Jimmy G, I feel like. But that's just my opinion. What do I know? Apparently, Charles Cross is absolute trash. Apparently, to Joey B.
What?
Yeah. I just horrible pick when I brought up Charles Cross, but I digress.